On this channel, we will explore the message of the Quran and the core issues of Islam, not through superficial narratives, but within their historical, social, and human context. To understand the answers to the many questions that arise about the Quran, we must first recognize one fundamental truth: Islam did not emerge in a vacuum. This video was prepared to establish a foundation for future content by explaining what the lands where Islam was born were like, the conditions people lived under, and why this message created such a profound transformation. What was the Arabian Peninsula like 1400 years ago? How did people live in Mecca, where Prophet Muhammad was born? How did they survive, earn a living, and endure their daily realities? There is a significant gap between the world we imagine today and the reality of that time. Extreme desert heat, sandstorms, water scarcity, tribal warfare, and constant insecurity shaped everyday life. Survival was a struggle that had to be won anew each day, yet this same harsh geography would become the stage for one of the greatest transformations in human history. In the year 571, there was no central state in the Arabian Peninsula. Law, security, and order belonged to the tribes. Power lay in the sword and in numbers. Most of the land was desert, water and food were limited. Life revolved around oases, caravan routes, and trade. The regions we know today as Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, and their surroundings were not united under a single political authority. There was no centralized government, no common legal system, and no unified security force. Each tribe lived by its own laws, and strength depended on weapons and tribal size. Much of the peninsula was desert. The Rub al-Khali, known as the Empty Quarter, was the largest sand desert in the world. Water sources were extremely scarce. Oasis towns, caravan routes, and trade centers were the only lifelines of survival. Arab society was built around tribes. The individual mattered less than the tribe. From birth, a person was defined by their tribal affiliation. Identity, honor, security, and future all depended on one's tribe. Rivalries, hostilities, and alliances between tribes constantly shifted. An attack on one member was considered an attack on the entire tribe. Blood feuds could last for generations. Forgiveness was seen as weakness. Revenge was a matter of honor. During the pre-Islamic period, the situation of women was extremely difficult. In a male-dominated society, women were often considered second class. They had no right to inheritance or divorce. When a husband died, a woman could even be treated as part of his estate and claimed by male relatives. The burial of infant girls alive was among the most brutal practices of the time. Tribes feared that daughters would bring shame or economic burden. Poverty was also a factor, as reducing mouths to feed was seen as a necessity. However, not all women shared the same fate. Women from wealthy families often had greater freedom. Homes were simple. Single-room houses made of stone or mud brick were common. Furniture was almost non-existent. People sat and slept on the ground. Water was stored in large clay jars, and every drop was used with care. Meals were simple. Dates, barley bread, and milk formed the staple diet. Meat was a rare luxury. Water was more valuable than gold. A caravan unable to find water in the desert could perish entirely. The Zamzam well in Mecca was considered sacred but insufficient for daily needs. Every drop of water was carefully measured and conserved. Mecca was one of the most important cities in the Arabian Peninsula, but not only because of trade. The Kaaba made the city sacred for all Arabs. The Kaaba was believed to have been built by Prophet Abraham and his son Ishmael as a monotheistic sanctuary. Over time, however, hundreds of idols were placed inside it. Each tribe had its own idol. By protecting these idols, the people of Mecca benefited economically from pilgrims who came from across Arabia. Arabs believed in the existence of Allah, but they viewed him as distant and unreachable. In their daily lives, they turned to idols they considered closer, believing these idols acted as intermediaries. Alongside idol worshippers, there were also Christians, Jews, and Hanafs, those who rejected idolatry and believed in one God. It was into such a world that Prophet Muhammad was born, a world ruled by tribes, filled with idol worship, oppression of women, widespread injustice, and usury, yet also one that valued poetry, hospitality, and courage. These harsh lands prepared the ground for the birth of Islam, because society's needs were clear. Justice, mercy, equality, and human dignity were not abstract ideals. They were necessities for survival. The message brought by Prophet Muhammad created a revolution. It shattered idols, challenged tribalism, granted rights to women, freed slaves, prohibited usury, and protected the poor. Islam was not merely a religion, it was a comprehensive social transformation. Understanding this context allows us to better grasp the value of Islam. This message did not arise in emptiness, it emerged from human suffering, needs, and hopes. If this documentary strengthened your faith, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it. Let us know in the comments what stood out to you the most. Together we will continue exploring the origins of Islam, learning our history, and deepening our understanding. See you in the next video. May you be under God's protection.